Hey guys, this is Vol and welcome to my coverage of the New Zealand Masters tournament that was held in Wellington just this last weekend, and I attended for the first time. It was actually my first time in Wellington despite living in New Zealand for most of my life, Wellington being the capital city at the bottom of the North Island of New Zealand, whereas I live in Auckland, which is the near to the middle of the top of the North Island. And there were 3 game systems being played: Warhammer Fantasy, which I competed in, one of 12 players. There was a 40k tournament, Warhammer 40,000, and a Flames of War tournament. And you can see everybody here on the first day. I think this picture was taken after the first game. And yeah, the idea behind this tournament, Warhammer, I'm just going to focus on Warhammer Fantasy for 8th edition because that's the only one I competed in. Recently, a little while ago, there was the Australian Masters tournament, and the organizer of this tournament, Pete Dunn, attended the Australian Masters and has basically put out a similar players pack to what the Australians went through. So what was the most notable about it was the comp system. Each player actually had to vote on the other players in the group before the tournament started. And so essentially peer comp. And what you would do is you'd give your opponent's armies each a rating through from +2 down to 0 down to -2. Now, a 0 would mean their army was just fine on target. +2 would mean they're exceptionally soft and weak, making concessions, not optimal lists. And -2 would be very, very hard and difficult to beat. So, for example, -2 lists would be, and this is 2,000 points per list, by the way, 2,000 point level. -2 would be, for example, Skaven list with Grazier, Plague Furnace, Abomination, plenty of slaves, not really much of anything else, Warp Lightning Cannon, that sort of thing. And a very soft list would be, for example, Orcs and Goblins or Ogres or something like that, with not overdoing it on the magic items, not overdoing it on the war machines, just having a little bit of this and that, and compared to the other armies in 8th edition, are not so tough. So what you do is you get a comp score based on everybody's marking of your list added up and sort of scaled to something, and you get a comp score of 0 through to 15 at the end of the day. Now, when you play an opposing person, you compare your comp score to their comp score. So if my comp score is 15 and yours is 0, you divide that in half to 7.5, then you add that to your battle points at the end of the day. So if you destroy your opponent, completely table him, win the mission objective, you get 20 points, he gets 0, but then you subtract the comp modifier. So if I trash my opponent 20 to 0, but I had the negative comp score, I subtract, say, maybe 7.5 from that. So the most I can ever win in that scenario is 13.5 to maybe 6.5 or whatever it is. So you can see, if you guys are following me with the maths, that if you come with a very tough army, which has got just hard as nails army, you need to really destroy your opponents, like totally table them to advance through the tournament and do well. Whereas if you bring a very soft army, if you end up playing the really cheesy lists, you may only need to get a draw or a minor loss to actually come out with more battle points than the other guys. So hopefully, guys, you guys understand that. Just going to go through the armies competing. This next army, this first army is from Jack, Dark Elf army that I played before. I actually recommend this army not be allowed to participate just because I felt like it was an army that made no concessions whatsoever. All of the choices are hard. You've got the Hydra, Cauldron, Blackguard, Executioners, Shades, 2 units of them, the level 4 Sorceress with Shadow. Just, not a fun army to play against, and I really did not want to have to face this. I felt like the Masters, since everybody else was, making an effort to restrain themselves and take softer lists, I felt this guy could have put in maybe a Cold One Chariot or Cold One Knights or some Corsairs, something which doesn't really have a lot of bite in 8th. Still, not bad choices, and there are no real soft choices in the Dark Elf list, but there could have been softer choices in this army. Next image, this is Peter with Bretonians. He got a very good comp score, and he actually does have no Grail Knights at all, just the one Trebuchet, not pictured in the photo. And, guys with better comp scores will do well at this tournament, as they did in the Australian Masters, but few of us actually bothered to really study the players back very well, so we didn't really realise what situation we were in until the day. Next image, this is, I think, Dave with Demons. I haven't played this guy before. He's got a fairly well-rounded Demons list, but he's still received, I think, 0 points on comp for it, because Demons just really are just as hard as they were in 7th edition. He's got Flamers and so forth. He's got big blocks of troops that are hard to get by, and he's got the good magic, good BSB and so forth. Next image, this is Ryan S's army, Ryan Simister. He took his lizardmen. Now, he's got the slan with the Law of Life, which nobody likes, so he's got the lowest comp score possible. However, he has made a few concessions, which I appreciate. He's got the croc scores in there, just a 1 steg, and his slan doesn't have focus of rumination, which you're used to seeing. He's got become and cogitation instead. No cupped hands either. But he does have a level 2, and he's got a scroll and a cube of darkness, so it's a very tough list. You wouldn't want to fight him, but it's not as hard as it could be, so he's at least made some concession there. Next image, this is the list I made an example of. Everybody felt like this was the toughest list of the tournament. It's Lockie with the Skaven. He's just got pure, everything that you possibly take within 2,000 points, which is good in 8th edition. He's got the Abomination, Warp Lightning Cannon, 5 units of slaves, Grey Seer. He's got just the right amount of clan rats to carry his characters. He's got the Furnace. He's got the Brass Orb, Doom Rocket, you name it. It's in this list, so nobody really wanted to fight him. Next image, this is good old Nikola Jaksic. He's got his cool Warriors of Chaos. Not all the stuff's pictured here, but he's got the Chosen, Hell Cannon, War Shrine, level 4 of Tzeentch, big unit of Marauders of Tzeentch, Chaos Warriors with Hamilton Shields of Tzeentch. Probably the only real concession in this army is the Banner of Rage and the Chosen, meaning they're frenzied. Therefore, the other good players at this tournament might be able to take advantage of that in various ways. Next image, this is my own army, the Empire army you guys have been seeing lately. It's same as my 2,400 point list, except I've dropped the Hellblast of Olagun and a unit of swordsmen and another unit of guns. I get a very good comp score for this army, so feeling like I should be able to get some points in this tournament. However, it's going to be very, very, very difficult for me to win battles unless I really bring my A game and just make no mistakes, because, as you can see, I've just got the Knights and the War Altar and the Flagellants, nothing really to destroy enemy units with, no big hammer units, and of course my stuff, is vulnerable to psychology if they're outside of the big Arc Lector bubble. My magic, I've only got a level 2, so no +4 to spells, no +4 to dispels, no dispel scroll. Pistoliers aren't hugely effective in 8th, although they are effective somewhat, so it's going to be a real mission for me to actually do very well in the tournament, but I'm looking forward to that challenge. Next photo, this is actually Raymond, and he was picked as the favourite to win the tournament. And the reason why is because he's got the maximum comp score. Every game that he goes into, he's going to get a big boost from battle points at the end of it, but he's still got a list which can do very well. He's got war machines, he's got 2 lords, he's got plenty of bulk troops. This is not his whole army here, it's just part of it. And Pete Dunn, who organised the tournament and was the number 1 ranked in the country, picking this guy to win. Just by the way, going to the next photo. In fact, I'll talk about that later. Just come back to this. This is Tom with demons. Just a well-rounded, no fat, just pure, plain old, smash and bro demons list. No greater demon, I suppose. He's got the Nurglings in there. Every element of this list is tough. He's got big unit of horrors. He's got bloodletters, flamers, units of fiends in sort of a single and a double, and fleshhounds. So just a tough as nails list. Next image, this is Mel Patel with his Lizardmen, and really cool list because he's got no Slan and no Stegs. He's got the Carnosaur Lord, got big blocks of Saurus, he's got Pterodons and Skinks, and that's it. Salamanders as well, but just kudos for this guy taking this list. He got a great comp score, deserved it, and he should come out really well in this tournament, plus he's a skilled player. Next photo shows you Joe's Warriors of Chaos army, and he's used a lot of these clay guys, the sand people, to represent his list. He's actually got a slightly better comp score than the demons and other Warriors of Chaos players, because he's taken trolls, big units of marauders, well, not too big to be that threatening in the big horde blocks, and he's got Chaos Knights. So not too much of a warrior. He's got a Chaos Lord and a disc, stuff like that. Going to the next photo shows you his clay people made out of basic clay baked in the oven and with flock on them, representing, you name it, trolls, marauders, whatever he can proxy at the end of the day. And that's it. I haven't actually pictured Peter Dunn's army, which was Skaven, by the way, and he got a 0 score for it, but he wasn't intending on playing. It was actually going to be my buddy Ryan competing with a Bloodthirster and a Tough Demons list. Ryan missed his flight down, couldn't play, so we had the tournament organizer stand in with Skaven, and I was actually happy about that because the tournament organizer actually was ranked #1 in the country, and we wanted to see how he would actually fare and compete in this year's event. So look out over the next couple of days for my reports, guys. The photography turned out to be mint. The games turned out to be really exciting, and I can't wait to show you guys how it went.